All right. Welcome to another episode of ET Talks. You know what I'm saying? We got Spider Loc in the building, you know what I'm saying, from LA out here. You know what I mean, representing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I told you in the inbox, bro. I was a fan. You know what I'm saying? I know nothing about going out there splitting young boy head. You know
That's
what
right.
I
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. You say that homeboy dead.
mean? Yo,
That
nigga,
nephew.
I was on that shit, man. I was a big G Unit fan, you know what I'm saying? I knew all them shits. The mixtapes was even better than the albums, man. Oh,
Right.
that shit was on the Get Rich or Die Trying shit. I think.
Yeah. That was on the soundtrack, yo.
Yeah, that was on the soundtrack. But no, I was on all y'all niggas, man. At one point, you know what I'm saying? I'll get to it in a second. I just gotta tell y'all niggas this. At one point, my nigga, y'all niggas had the best roster I've ever seen, bro. That nigga said,
Right.
y'all,
Facts.
you, MOP, Banks, Fifth, you know what I'm saying? Mob Deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It was lit over there.
That shit was crazy, man. And then that shit just,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. That shit just came to like MOP never dropped. You know what I'm saying? You never dropped. I think, did Mob Deep drop?
They dropped, yeah.
Mob
They
Deep
dropped
dropped.
us. Yeah. They dropped soon as they got there, just about.
Yeah, they might have been like the only ones though. I think out of that whole shit, because
Yeah.
after that movie, bro, I thought that shit was about to be some dynasty Chicago Bulls type.
Yeah, it was on the way. It had the potential, but I wasn't driving, so it wasn't on me.
Yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so while I got you out here, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you just tell the people like what you got going on now? I watch your podcast every day. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. We mentioned the podcast, you referring to the Wake and Bake Show on YouTube. The home is Spider Loc, most Easty. That's the channel on YouTube. It's a real organic situation where I tap in to my good peoples, the people that are there on a regular basis. We call ourselves the Google Gang, and we come about that name because in hip hop and our culture in general, everybody talks about keeping it 100, keeping it 1,000, and I became educated upon the fact that a Google was a one followed by a million zeros. So in order just to put a little extras on it and to say we do more than keep it 100 and do more than a number, we keep it a Google. So we the Google Gang is facts over feelings. We don't get mad, we get money. We love life, and we typically put it in the air on the Wake and Bake Show. And just, we be on some BS, on some real shit, some bullshit. We play music, my music, VJ Keyway is the handle. And we do it about 3 times a week. Other than that, we've been dropping EPs quite consecutively the last couple of years. If you ain't up on the latest music, you want to go tap into the Politicking EP, the Loc EP, the Wake and Bake soundtrack, Illiterate, available on all your digital platforms.
cool. All right, you know what I'm saying? I know we kind of pressed for time, so you know what I mean. What I'm gonna do right now is, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of suppress the questions or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna name some names, and because I know you be on a lot of niggas' heads, so I'm gonna name some names, and I just want you to tell me why you on their head or what the first thing that come to mind when you say them, right?
Good shit.
Ti.
Well, he's a rat. He was a witness on the behalf of a prosecution. And, in our culture, generally everybody claims to hate a rat or despise a rat. Me personally, I've been told on. I've had somebody take a stand against me. I know how it feels. So personally, I don't appreciate rats. But even worse than participating, I happen to see back in the day, T.I.'s whole testimony was available online, where he got it from the moment he came in the courtroom, swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help him God. He sat on the stand. He detailed all the events that took place that night leading up to a murder, things that happened after the murder. He talked about what he did as far as calling and for informing the victim's family and loved ones. And he told everything. And blow my mind. Look up years down the line, and he's claiming to have not told, using big meats to vouch for him. And I don't even have to chime in on the Crime Stoppers commercial or the Punk episode where he was caught up telling on his partner. But to see somebody, you know, in art in my current time, a lot of people didn't get a chance to see his testimony because back then everybody went on the internet like they was now. So I found myself being amongst only one of the only people claiming to have seen the testimony at one point, and I was wondering, was I tripping? And then once I start speaking on it, other people have claimed to say they seen the testimony too. It just blows my mind that Ti went so far out of his way to get that testimony removed from the internet. I wonder why he's so unashamed. And then I heard him invite, you know, I'd hate to be a party pooper. He invited us to a paperwork party. And I am aware that it's a time in society and technology where we're moving toward a paperless society. And I thought we were quite fortunate we could still have his party because I've seen the digital testimony, but you know, I was just trying to appease him and he called for a paperwork party. So I wanted to run through the paperwork. He is a very deceptive individual. That mouthpiece, the eloquence with which he speaks, a lot of times it goes over our contemporaries' heads and they just sit in awe at the fact that his vocabulary is beyond normal because he come across as a trap guy, street dude. So when you have a vocabulary that kind of extends that general demographic, people stand in awe, whether they understood what you said or not. So T.I. have everybody thinking he stuck to the G code when just simply, I understand when you go into the court building, especially when it comes to criminal court, there are two sides, prosecution, defense. T.I. suited up on the prosecution team and went in there and helped them secure a win. The person he testified against got stretched out. You know what I'm saying? So it may appear that I go hard. I just keep it consistent with what is factual. His name comes up quite a bit when you're in a public platform that is derived off of hip hop because he is a pretty well named in hip hop. So his name comes up. The story just doesn't change because it's the same story. What am I supposed to say? If he was a rat yesterday, he's gonna be a rat today. So if his name comes up, we're gonna address him like a rat.
All right, cool. Next person, Young Buck.
Buck Jenner, a great disappointment. You know, it was a partner of mine, extremely heterosexual, um, as far as just his general demeanor is masculine, his voice is deep, it's harsh. Everything he did was typically masculine. So to first of all find out that he was interested in the same sex was a big shock and surprise. However, these days, I mean, you never know what to expect. But what I find very cowardly is that after you were caught with your hand in a cookie jar, on camera, on the phone, basically confessing to having affectionate feelings toward this man, you still denying it. And that's like the biggest coward you can be. On top of that, he's been real scandalous toward me as far as supposedly being one of my closest friends, claiming my neighborhood. We supposed to be like this. And then he was keeping secrets about my career from me for periods over a year. According to him, at times when he was trying to get me to see things his way and not quite see things 50's way at a certain period of time. And I wasn't trying to hear where he was coming from. He thought it was cool to tell me, well, check this out. Dude told me he wasn't gonna put your album out a year ago. So, you know, that's the first foul thing I really recognized that, hey, you knew something that I needed to know that was very important to me as an individual for a year, and you held up, you didn't tell me for a year until you saw it beneficial to try to convince me to make a move you wanted me to make. Then you throw it out there. But I'm thinking about the whole 365 days you've been privy to this information and watching me maneuver and move around in a fashion that I wouldn't had I known that. You ain't say nothing, cuz you foul.
Yeah.
Fuck Buck Jenner.
Yo, you heard? Did you? Well, I didn't read it, but I heard Prodigy audio book.
I've heard the portions where I was mentioned.
Yo, was that true when they was talking about Jeezy? They was in Atlanta or some shit. Jeezy had did him dirty on the stage. He was coming off, and Fifth grabbed him and shit. And basically, just like chumped that nigga and was just like, you don't ever fucking do that shit again. And yo, basically type shit.
I can't say my eyes witnessed that myself, but I remember it being a contemporary talked about thing, and it was believable that something of that nature had taken place. But I didn't witness it with my own eyes, but I do remember when it happened. I remember when it was recent and it was buzzing around the camp. Yeah. Rest in peace to Prodigy.
Yeah, Pete, that's actually that's actually my favorite rapper.
That's hard.
So, like, you know what I mean? Well, like when y'all was in the camp, was like Fifth really like was he really doing shit like that to them niggas? Like Buck?
Nah, I've never seen Fifth out of anger do anything physical to anybody in the camp.
Because I heard he did some shit to Banks too or something. I don't know.
No, I've never seen him physically do anything other than when we saw on that tape when he threw Tony Yayo in the bushes. Yeah, that's the only thing I ever seen him do physical as far as any of his artists. I've seen him do like chump shit like the R&B singer Joe, I believe it was, sending in records specifically for Young Buck to throw a feature verse on. However, 50 record a verse, send it back, let it go to press, get put out. And while everybody's sitting around, kind of like paying attention, 50 got a new feature with so-and-so, then he lets it be known that, oh, really, they sent it, they wanted Buck on it, but I did it. Yeah, I seen him do whole shit like that.
All right. And one thing I don't understand, right? Like in the music industry, I know this ain't street, a lot of niggas ain't street niggas or whatever the case may be, right? Well, they claim to be though, right? But like, right? So like niggas in the street, right, in the hood, like say you my man and we riding on this dude, right?
Right.
Now, whether or not me and you have a fallout, the next time that dude see you, he don't care whether or not me and you had a fallout. He just remember you doing whatever you did to him or his man before. So he don't care about that. You was riding with him at that time when you did it, so you gotta be held responsible for that, right?
Right.
So,
that's how we carry.
So in hip hop, what I don't understand is how niggas, they'll be with a nigga, riding on a nigga. Like I see Young Buck do this. You ride with a nigga through his beefs and then become cool. As soon as you're not cool with that nigga no more, now you cool with his enemies.
Yeah.
And the end of it, that's weird to me because I don't, you know what I mean? Especially from niggas is like hood niggas, like, especially I know over here, like, you know what I mean? We in Jersey, niggas do shit like that, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It don't matter. Like, when I see that nigga that I was riding with you with, he ain't gonna care that I'm not cool with you no more. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you a big mistake I made, and it's a mistake that's consistently being made. And it might be a different perspective now. And the fact that the perspective is different, that's a mistake. But I came into the hip hop game thinking it was the streets when it was the furthest thing from the streets. Just everybody tried to carry themselves like they was from the streets. But you can't apply yourself to this industry the way you apply yourself to the streets and think that it's gonna pop for you. Everybody is everybody, friend. Even Neighborhood Nip, rest in peace, the Keyway Christ, died declaring one of his most recent records, recent singles, and biggest record to the date at the day he death was at the time of his death was "I Ain't Nothing Like You, Rap Nigga." However, you can't name one rap enemy that he had. Even with him getting up close on the game and realizing he don't have much in common with the character of these dudes that make up what we call the industry, he still found the way to be politically cool with all of them. And that's what you have to learn dealing in industries. It's not just the music industry. If you have a job, or if you go into a restaurant and you go to conduct business, if you go into the mall, these other industries of commerce and business are not the streets. And if you can keep that, just look, King Von, the Mo 3, all these cats that treat the industry like the streets. It can have an adverse effect on you one way or the other.